It's 6 p.m. in New York. It's time for the wrap. And welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Joe Concha. Joining me tonight, it's a threesome. We usually have four, but tonight, you get your minds out of the gutter, please. She is a Southern belle that took New York City by storm, unlike the blizzard that we didn't have this week. Author, journalist, and Reverend Jenny Crumpton is here.
Hello, glad to be here. I'm great.
And your scent is fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
Sure, not a
problem.
Try. And you may know him from his column in Forbes, or maybe you don't, but you definitely know him from his national radio show he co-hosts with Michael Steele on Sirius XM Radio. Rick Unger is here. Call him Ricky.
Is my scent good tonight?
No comment on that. No, you smell great. Your car is still in style.
Reverend Jenny, you know, she smelled good. We're going to call you that from now on.
Hey.
MSNBC might have their Reverend out, but we've got
our Jenny.
We've got Reverend Jenny.
And we like Reverend Jenny much better.
Outstanding. You know what I like as well? I like the daily download. Let's roll it. Well, you may have been watching the news today or caught it on your phone. We had a little bit of it was probably an earthquake, at least in GOP circles, shook up the entire 2016 presidential race. Here's Mitt Romney on a call with supporters.
After putting considerable thought into making another run for president, I've decided it's best to give other leaders in the party the opportunity to become our next nominee. Let me give you some of my thinking. First, I'm convinced that with the help of the people on this call, we could win the nomination. Our finance calls made it clear that we'd have enough funding to be more than competitive. And with few exceptions, our field political leadership is ready and enthusiastic about a new race. And the reaction of Republican voters across the country was both surprising and heartening. I know that early poll numbers move up and down a great deal during the campaign, but we would have no doubt started in a strong position.
In other words, Mitt Romney not running. Meanwhile, 5 minutes later, and this is exclusive to Newsmax, aren't you glad you tuned in? This was recorded at Jeb Bush's campaign office. Kind of a golf clap meets game show there,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So again, they're very happy in Florida today. So we had on a graphic last night that showed polls, particularly one, Real Clear Average, Real Clear Politics, which is an aggregate, obviously, of all of them, and that's the only one you should go by. Mitt Romney had an 8-point lead over his closest competitor, the aforementioned Jeb Bush, and he drops out. Rick, this makes no sense.
Makes all the sense in the world, in fact. There's only one reason that somebody who's well ahead in the polls, almost double digits, and in some polls he is ahead double digits, drops out after 3 weeks of acting so much like a candidate, it was ridiculous. He couldn't get the money. I don't care what he said in his speech. What he didn't seem to understand is that there were people in that conference call, finance people, who I know them. I know they had already committed to Governor Bush. He couldn't get the money.
Isn't that ironic,
really
by the way?
Surprising, yeah.
Ironic, right? Because whenever we heard about Mitt Romney, we heard about Gordon Gekko.
Right.
And we
Right.
heard about elevators in garages, and he's supposedly the richest guy on earth.
Money
he's rich.
attracts money.
Yes.
You can't spend your whole fortune. I don't even think he has $1 billion. You can't spend the whole fortune on one presidential campaign.
I don't know. You know, I think the man doth protest too much. I think that we could see closer to time him do a complete about face and come back. This is almost like a little bit of a commercial strategery, if you will. You know, you pretend like you're not good. You get everybody riled up by doing some trail appearances, and then you say you're backing out of the race just to make everybody go crazy and wonder what's happening, and then you know, a few months later you just pop right back in.
So you're saying, Jake Tapper actually said this on CNN. He said there were some caveats involved there that allows him to jump back in
come back.
if he
He
sees.
left some doors open. I think he gave every excuse in the book, and
He's not coming back.
So is Jeb Bush now the front runner, Rick Unger?
We'll see. You know, Jeb Bush has polled particularly badly. So don't be so sure. I think what you're going to see is what we were seeing in polls before Romney gave us a reason to think he might be in again. And all of those polls were bunched. They were 5%, 6%, 7%, maybe 8%. You're going to see that again because there is no front runner
I
for
think
the
Jeb
GOP
Bush's
nomination.
wife should run.
Well, that's an interesting comment because his wife is Mexican.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of what makes Jeb, if I were a Republican, and God knows I'm not, Jeb's wife is a critical campaign plus.
She
Why is
absolutely
that?
is, and I'm not, I'm not one who thinks that the wife should have to be the strong person behind the husband to get him elected. I think more women should be running for president. But I do think that she really has a connection with a lot of Americans. I mean, look, the GOP does not do very well with the Hispanic base.
Right.
They're really struggling
That's what it's
there.
about.
And, she has a wonderful story. She's a very smart woman.
Most importantly, if she pulls 5 to 8% of the Hispanic base,
That can make a difference.
it can make all the difference
Make a really
in a
big
close
difference.
election.
It
Where
really
I
would.
see that the challenge is, if we agree that Jeb Bush is the front runner right now, is branding.
Yes.
And if you change his name from Bush to Kush,
Right.
or Tush, or something, anything besides Bush,
I vote Tush.
you vote. Of course you do.
Of course
President
you do.
Tush. That
Right.
would be fantastic.
We'd all vote for that.
But that's the whole thing. Can he? Because a lot of people don't pay attention the way we do, and they'll say another Bush. We already had a one-termer, and then the two-termer who left unpopular. Do we really need another one? They'll just figure that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
I
Jenny.
think it's really unfortunate for him that he is a Bush. I think it is going to be a problem. And I think there are a lot of young, hip, fresh faces out there that are going to be very competitive. I think the polls that we're seeing right now, that's, I don't think we should give them too much credit.
Well, that's true, Rick Unger, because if you look at 2011, the
Yes.
year before that
It's very
election,
early.
it
Yes.
was Giuliani, Newt Gingrich,
That's right.
Mitt Romney, Sarah Palin. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Worked out fine for me.
They
I
all
mean,
fell into
it
a
didn't work
hole.
out so well for them. That's right. Look, I actually believe that any one of us sitting here could write the speech to get Jeb Bush past the problem of being a Bush, especially if he can get the nomination, because then you'll have a Bush versus Clinton, and that whole argument goes away. What Jeb is going to be doing from now until when it really heats up is reminding people something they've all forgotten. He's an incredibly conservative guy. Everybody thinks he's this rhino in the Republican Party. He's not.
Well, he feels moderate these days.
Right.
So.
He feels moderate.
But
That's
what's
right.
up with this? What's up with the fact that Romney might
Can
be
we
having
continue that thought
dinner with
in a moment,
Christie?
RJ?
No.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll go to dinner. We have potluck coming up as well. A lot of food
Okay.
on a Friday night here. Coming up next, did you see Senator John McCain almost kick some protesters' butts yesterday? If you didn't, you will next. This is the Daily Wrap. It's only on Newsmax TV.
Hi, I'm Brian Brody from Solutions from Science, and I want to tell you about an amazing breakthrough in compact portable power. Introducing the all-new Pocket Power Plus, the most amazing personal backup battery system ever developed. The Pocket Power Plus charges all your electronic devices. Run an iPad for 18 hours, a Kindle for 32 hours, an iPhone for 64 hours, an iPod for 150 hours, and even double your laptop's battery runtime. The Pocket Power Plus is the perfect power system for you. Small enough to fit in your pocket, it comes with jumper cables and a full accessory pack. Powerful enough to jumpstart motorcycles, cars, trucks, and yes, even buses. Great for campers, hikers, and bikers, business travelers, on the ground or in the air. The Pocket Power Plus is your own personal charging power station. Learn more about the Pocket Power Plus by going to pocketpowerplus.com. This week only, get a Pocket Power Plus at half price by visiting pocketpowerplus.com. That's pocketpowerplus.com.
Just before retirement, I had that uh-oh moment. It is not a great feeling. I worked hard, I saved money, but then I realized I wasn't going to have enough.
If you're age 62 or older and facing a financial gap, your home's equity could provide greater financial independence. With recent changes to reverse mortgages, it's more important than ever to make a decision based on current facts rather than outdated information. If you think you know everything there is to know about reverse mortgages, the truth is you probably don't.
And I have to admit, I was skeptical at first based on what I thought I knew, but then I realized how misinformed I really was.
Many people are surprised to learn that today's reverse mortgages have been redesigned and can provide greater help to consumers. As a result, they can be an effective option to help fund the retirement you want. Call Reverse Mortgage Funding today for a free copy of Closing the Gap. It has the most current information about new products, including those designed to help you extend your retirement funds or to purchase a new home.
My reverse mortgage gave me the benefits of a home equity line of credit without the monthly loan payments, and they've made the process really easy.
Retirement and retirees have changed, and so have reverse mortgages. You owe it to yourself to see how today's reverse mortgages are meeting the needs of a new retirement generation. To find out how, call Reverse Mortgage Funding now and get the facts.
We based our decision on current information, not hearsay, which was really a smart move for us. It changed our entire retirement outlook.
Call toll-free 1-877-272-3738 for your free copy of Closing the Gap. There's no obligation, so call 1-877-272-3738 today. That's 1-877-272-3738. Loan terms and conditions apply. Visit reverseminded.com for details.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. I am Joe Concha, along with the Reverend Jenny Crumpton and Ricky Younger. So, yesterday, he loves the fact that we call him Ricky here. It's 10 years off his life. Now he's only 76. Yesterday, during a Senate Armed Service Committee on National Security, the group CodePink, you know them, they're a bunch of women who protest wars and stuff. Well, they decided to have a little protest. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, he's only 91 years old, actually was in homeroom with Rick during a sophomore year, I believe.
This has got to
Sorry, I beat this one to
got
death
to
too
end.
much. Yes, took the brunt of the protest, and Senator John McCain having none of it.
I've been a member of this committee for many years, and I have never seen anything as disgraceful and outrageous and despicable as the last demonstration that just took place about, you know, you're going to have to shut up or I'm going to have you arrested. If we can't get the Capitol Hill police in here immediately, get out of here, you low-life scum.
Senator, tell him how you really think. But you know what's a little unsettling about that? My goodness, I mean, that's some brutal candor. But here's the thing, where was the Capitol Police? It took a kind of a long time. What if, I don't know, that just seemed to take a little bit longer than it should have. By the way, CodePink is supposed to be peaceful, but screaming at a lot of old people doesn't seem to be that peaceful at all. And it made me think, most politicians now these days, they're happy, they're polite, they're always smiling. You don't see a lot of them having real human reactions very often, but there are some exceptions. So let's take a look at possible presidential candidate and probably up in the polls already, Christie.
Yeah, I understand. So I'll be more than happy to have a debate with you anytime you like, Guy, because somebody like you who doesn't know a damn thing about what you're talking about except to stand up and show off when the cameras are here. I've been here when the cameras aren't here, buddy, and done the work. I've been here when the cameras weren't here and did the work. So I'm glad you had your day to show off, but we're the ones who are here to actually do the work. So turn around.
You want to hear the answer or no? Do you want to hear the answer or don't you? Because I'm not going to put, I've heard you. Okay.
Go Cowboys. Those are obviously Giants or Jets fans that were clearly heckling the governor, which I have no problem with, by the way. You grow up with your team, that's your team. Anyway, Governor Christie doesn't take nonsense from no one. So, some people love it, and some people don't like it so much. So do you think we should be seeing more of our leaders showing this sort of emotion, Rick Unger?
Two different things that we saw there. I think what Governor Christie does, he can actually get away with a little bit better than what John McCain did. John McCain's behavior, I didn't approve of those people doing what they did in a Senate hearing, but his behavior was worse. You don't call people, Americans, names like that because they're protesting. And they did leave. It did not come off well. It's who he is now. He's a cranky old man, and I think we've all had enough of John McCain.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, CodePink was developed in the grassroots back in 2002 when Bush was about to go into Iraq, and we all know how that turned out. They do a lot of good work. Now, they take some avant-garde ways of doing their work because they need to get attention. It's very difficult to get Congress to listen to you. Congress won't even listen to each other. So, you know, I do think that they made a misstep because obviously it was only going to be bad PR that came out of what they did in Congress.
Well, there is no bad PR.
For them. Yeah, for them it might not be so.
There's no bad PR except for your own obituary, right?
Yes, you're right.
It was bad for McCain. If he had stopped, you know, we got to watch his whole comments. He was fine. Until he got to the part where he called them pond scum or whatever it was.
Low life.
And just
Low
say
life
that
scum.
what they're
Pond
doing,
never came into the conversation.
This is not what I want to hear from my U.S. senators. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. I thought it was completely inappropriate. Now, what we just saw of Christie, that was some of his more tame tantrums. You know, that won't play across the country. It plays in New Jersey. It plays in New York.
But you know, when
I'm
Christie
not sure
does
about
it,
the South or the Midwest.
it kind of puts a smile on your face, though, right? I mean, because you just get a kick out of it. And I'm not the world's biggest Christie fan, but you know, you have a different reaction. You know that John McCain totally lost his temper, and it comes across as a reminder why this guy should never have even considered being president of the United States. He does not have control of his temper, and he ends up doing the wrong thing a lot of times because he doesn't have control.
I've heard in certain places and books and whatnot that Hillary Clinton doesn't have exactly control over her temper as well.
She
She's
may
throwing
have an
lamps
issue,
at presidents
but
in the
not
past.
like him.
Oh, so there's different levels of temper.
Absolutely.
Rick
Throw
Underwood's
lamps
Absolutely.
at men. Right.
Yeah.
So, but she knows in public to keep her decorum, and
Right.
she knows how to speak to Americans
Good point.
and have respect. It's a high
Have
position.
you ever seen
have to have
Hillary act
respect.
that way in public?
What difference does it make during the Benghazi hearings, I believe? Do we have that clip, by the way, guys? Hillary Clinton getting hammered on the Hill for her handling of Benghazi, and she fought back. Do we have that available? I think we do somewhere, right?
But she was.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened and do everything we can to prevent it from ever happening again.
So let me
That's
guess.
passion.
I was about to say, as a
That's
Democrat,
passion.
you'll call that passion.
Well, no way.
But
No,
the
but
other
she-
guy loses his temper.
Do
Well,
you
she
really
didn't
think that's
say
the same
anything
as calling
offensive.
somebody a low-life scum?
Yeah,
No, I'm not comparing it to McCain.
Yeah, well, you know.
McCain isn't running for president. Christie may.
And I
it may
think-
be a Christie-Hillary matchup.
That's
so that's
just
the way it's
not
going to
the
be.
same.
That's the way it's going to be portrayed.
Yeah,
One
that's
has a
not
temper,
Democrat,
and
Republican.
one has passion.
And
Put
who
him in
was
the
she
ring.
talking to? She was talking to a United States senator who had all the power and could take care of themselves. McCain is yelling at some people, regular Americans, protesting and calling them low-life scum.
You
Right.
thought that was an appropriate response to a question? What
Her-
difference
Well,
does it make?
but
Because
how much-
I'll say it's
No,
going to be in
that's-
every
wait,
advert.
wait. We're
It's going to be in
talking-
every campaign
We're
ad.
talking about temper, not
Content
what she
is
said.
different.
I understand if you disagree with her saying that. I get that. But that's not, we're talking about, was that an inappropriate flash of temper?
I think she
You
was
don't like
also
what she
having
said.
to reiterate a
No,
point.
no. I say
that she
when
had
you're
had
running
to.
the State Department, that you answer the questions in a calculated, meticulous way.
Well, I think
I would say
she
there
had
that she
been.
didn't control her emotions.
She had been answering it in a very meticulous
she
way,
had.
and she had been under fire for weeks at that point. And I think, you know, if you watch the whole context around her response right there, she had been very measured and calm up until then, being hammered over the same question.
Yeah, I'm going to
over
lose
and
my
over.
temper and show you how it really goes.
Do it.
I can't do it. I
I've seen
can't
that
lose my
before.
temper.
But here's the bottom line, though. Reality TV rules the airways these days, right?
Yes.
And why does it? Because of confrontation. We watch
Right.
Jersey Shore because we like seeing
Right.
Snooki get hit in the face. Well, we don't
Yeah.
like seeing that, but we like seeing them.
Did she get hit in the face?
She
I
did-
never
she
watched
did
it.
at
Yeah,
one
I think
point.
stuff
Yeah?
like that happens.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and we like confrontation. So maybe confrontation by our candidates, and I'll have to end it on my own last word, is what more Americans like, because
Maybe
they certainly
so.
like it in the reality
Reality
shows,
TV.
or maybe presidential politics and reality TV.
Well,
are
we'd
two
have been
different things.
talking about what Mitt Romney said about Hillary the other day had he not dropped out today.
Right, which I'm still very much shocked by. But Ann Romney told me a year ago that would happen. So the story for another time. Coming up next in the wrap, it's Political Potluck. Stay tuned, only on Newsmax TV.
The psoriasis on my feet was so bad that it felt as if I were walking on broken glass.
If you suffer from psoriasis, you know it can feel like a curse.
I was hiding in the house all the time. I didn't want to be out with the public at all, didn't want people seeing me.
If you're tired of the pain and embarrassment of your psoriasis and would like to take control of it, then you want Extract by Photomedics, the global leader in targeted therapy for psoriasis. Extract can clear your psoriasis in weeks with no harmful side effects. Extract treats all psoriasis areas. The in-office treatment takes no time at all.
After the treatment, often I hear, I couldn't even feel anything. Are you done?
You do not feel a thing.
She'd go zzz, 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 and then it would be done.
Extract is cleared by the FDA and recommended by over 2,000 dermatologists.
I was seeing results within like 2 or 3 treatments.
Extract is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare.
One of the worst areas was my right elbow, and after about 2 months, you can see it's totally clear.
Act now and you can qualify to be reimbursed for any co-pays until you see results.
It feels great. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, now I know how everyone else feels that has a healthy scalp.
So call now for your no-cost treatment at an Extract clinic conveniently located near you. We can see you right away.
For all the folks who have given up hope on their psoriasis and felt like there is no solution, I would love for them to come in and give our Extract treatment a try and see what a difference it can make in their lives.
Stop suffering from psoriasis. Live clear, live free with Extract.
Call 1-800-741-0957 for your no-cost Extract treatment at a location near you, or go to useextract.com right now. So call 1-800-741-0957.
Do you own mutual funds? You may be paying fees and costs of up to 5% and not even know it. Fisher Investments isn't a mutual fund, and we don't have hidden fees. Do you own an annuity? Your broker may have made a commission of 8% or more when he sold it to you. Are you sure he had your best interests in mind? At Fisher Investments, we're not brokers, and we don't earn commissions on trades or by selling you products. With our model, as your portfolio grows, we grow.
To learn more about the Fisher Investments difference, call the number on your screen now. We'll send you our free DVD, Investing Secrets for 2015, and our special report, The 8 Biggest Mistakes Investors Make. Plus, the first 100 callers get a free 1-year subscription to Fisher Investments Stock Market Outlook, with insights from our company founder and respected market forecaster, Ken Fisher. Be prepared in 2015. Call now, 1-800-375-3344. 1-800-375-3344.
52-year-old male complaining of chest pain.
Clear. Heart attacks can happen at any time. My name is Dr. Crandall, and as a cardiologist, I tell my patients that they need to be aware of the hidden symptoms of a heart attack. That is why I've created the Simple Heart Test to help you determine your own risk of heart disease.
Take your free online heart test today and discover how to get Dr. Crandall's bestseller, The Simple Heart Cure.
My name is Ed Berliner. I'm a host and a news anchor here at Newsmax. This country is desperate for a new voice to speak to that new generation that wants to know it all. Don't give me just half the story. Don't give me a piece of it. Let me get it all. Every single day, when people come to Newsmax, they're going to get an entire story. A new voice, a new generation. Newsmax TV.
And welcome back. I am hungry. Let's do some political potluck. And political potluck, of course, I can't cook, but where each of us brings a story to the party, just like bringing a dish to a potluck dinner. Quite frankly, I've never been to one in my life. But hey, if they say it exists, it exists. So here's my favorite story of the day. I just call him my good old Uncle Joe.
To state the obvious, the past 6 years have been really, really hard for this country. And they've been really tough for our party. Just ask Steve. I mean, they've been really tough for our party. But together, it's because together, we made some really, really tough decisions. Decisions that weren't at all popular, hard to explain.
Now, picture a parallel universe for a moment. And any GOP candidate saying that on the campaign trail, or just, in other words, Joe Biden, I actually looked this up before, Joe Biden's greatest gaffes. And there's a list on Google. You could get the top 10, the top 20, even the top 50 exists of gaffes that Joe Biden has made. But it's the John Madden rule. We used to talk about Brett Favre. You say, well, that's just Brett Favre being Brett Favre. All we hear is it's just Joe Biden being Joe Biden. Why does he get a pass for being an airhead when other people, they're called stupid, but Joe Biden's just called Joe?
Bless his heart. I have to say that at least once a day. Bless his heart. Here's the thing. When Joe Biden talks, I'm always like, I know what Joe is trying to say, and he just can't.
So you root for him.
I root for him because I think, first of all, he's a good-hearted guy. Second of all, I think what he's referring to, now keep in mind that he's speaking to his own party. He's speaking in a close-knit way to his family, in a sense. They're talking about how they've made some really unconventional decisions, some tough decisions, some counterintuitive decisions.
And that the last 6 years has been tough on the country. He's been in charge.
Well, I think what he meant was that there were a lot of there's a lot of big issues and challenges. There's we've had a lot going on, and I just think he's referring to what's been happening in the world more than what.
Before you jump in, can I share one of my favorites?
Sure.
He said, "I never had an interest in being a mayor because that's a real job. You have to produce. That's why I've been a senator for 36 years."
Well, that's
Yogi Berra.
It's an honest man. You know, we never get to see honest politicians. We don't know how to react when we get one, and that's who Joe is. And what always cracks me up about him. He is one of the smartest people who has ever served in the Senate. If you look at what he knows, particularly on foreign affairs, guy is amazing. And if you look at some of the calls that he's made that didn't come to fruition, everybody will go back and go, yeah, we should have done that. Joe is a really smart guy. He was a great senator. I think he was a great vice president. And he's an honest guy, so he just says stuff. Will it keep him from being president, by the way? Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if a Republican said the same thing, it's suddenly not charming and honest anymore.
That's because it's who says it. I know Republicans who I think are charming and cute, and if they say something, I'd probably get a kick out of it. There's not too many.
Right.
It's because everything he says we know is true. We already knew that senators don't do a whole lot.
Dan Quayle, it probably knocked over like 80 TVs since he took office as vice president. Like, I don't get it. I misspelled one word.
He lowered his handicap, 40 points when he was in the White House, Dan Quayle.
How many times did Congress shut everything down last year? I lost track,
I have two. So instead of trying to count, I want to hear about your political politics.
Yes, okay.
And you have 2 minutes,
so there's a woman, Marissa Alexander. She's lives in Florida. She just spent 3 years in prison for firing a warning shot at her abusive husband, who was threatening her, coming at her. Did not hit him, was not intended to hit him. It was intended to scare him off. Now, he had been arrested twice already for battery. He was on probation. She got sentenced to 20 years in prison. This was all this all came to light when George Zimmerman walked on Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Stand Your Ground was her defense as well. She is an African-American woman, and this highlighted the fact that, there's a lot of play in how that's applied.
What was she charged with if she just fired a warning shot into the air?
Attempted murder.
Really?
Well, obviously there was some dispute over whether she fired it in the air or not. Who knows? But
he was unharmed.
Right. And the key
George
to the story
Zimmerman
is
actually
kill somebody.
Did she have a record going into it? I know that shouldn't affect the case necessarily.
No, she did not. And
did her husband have a record?
Her husband was on probation for battery. He had been arrested twice already. So, look at all the facts. So she just had to plead to lesser charges so that she would only have to spend 3 years in prison. So she just served patiently those full 3 years in prison.
And you know what? I'm going to say something that you will rarely hear me say on television, radio, or anywhere. The Koch brothers deserve some credit for what they're trying to do right now with criminal justice in this country. She is a perfect example of what's wrong with our criminal justice system, what happened to her. The Koch brothers, to their credit, are starting to spend money on making it a much fairer system so this doesn't happen to her again.
Well, that's
that
very
would be
interesting.
a good application of their
Yes, it would.
Absolutely. And Rick will be actually watching the Super Bowl with the Koch brothers this weekend, so that'll be interesting. Coming up next, Political Potluck continues with Rick Underspick. This is the Daily Wrap on Newsmax TV.
Hi, I'm Matt McCoy. How long have you had your car insurance? I ask because I had mine for over 20 years before I switched and saved hundreds with the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford.
I was with my previous insurance for 30 years, but they could not compete with the Hartford.
People 50 and over could save hundreds of dollars when they switch.
I had done a lot of comparison shopping. The rate was like half of what I was paying.
$404 is the average amount folks save when they switch to the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford. You know, it makes me wonder why everyone 50 and over hasn't switched.
9 out of 10 AARP members who switch to the Hartford from companies like Allstate, State Farm, and Geico all get a lower rate with the Hartford. So call 1-800-684-1685 or go to gohartfordauto.com for your free quote. If you're not already an AARP member, the Hartford can help you join in minutes.
Let me tell you what else the Hartford does. They promise not to drop you, even if you're in an accident. It's called lifetime renewability, and it's included with your policy.
It's a great feeling to know that they're not going to drop you for that reason.
And if by chance you're ever injured in an accident, the Hartford has a benefit called Recover Care. This will help cover the cost of having someone do your grocery shopping, your house cleaning, lawn care, even walk your dog.
They were there when we got the insurance, and they were there when we needed it, and we really appreciate that.
Save $404 on average, get lifetime renewability, and Recover Care. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-1685 now. That's 1-800-684-1685. Or go to gohartfordauto.com today. Get this free calculator just for requesting a quote.
Here in the Midwest, there's 3 things we think highly of, and that's our Lord, our family, and our rifles. Henry 357. I love this thing.
I took it home, took it out of the box, looked at it, and just thought to myself, what a gorgeous gun.
Once I got the sights dialed in, it shoots and hits like a dream.
There is nothing smoother than a Henry rifle.
Henry Repeating Arms is a family-owned business. My family has been in the gun business since 1911. Today there's a lot of talk about going green. Going green is great, but protecting red, white, and blue is better.
At Henry, we take great pride in sourcing American-made materials.
And deliver an American-made rifle that you would be proud to own.
Henry, thanks.
Call now for a free Henry catalog and decal, including a list of dealers in your area, so you can own your own piece of American history. Call or log on now.
And welcome back to the Daily Wrap, everybody. Let's continue with our political potluck stories. Rick Unger, what the hell is bothering you today?
Oh, there's so much I hardly know where to begin.
You look bothered.
Yeah, I do look bothered, right? Let's start with this. A Democratic Congressman, Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii, actually attacked the White House. Maybe that's overstating it, but had a problem with the fact that the White House will not use the words Islamic terrorist. Let's take a look at it. We have it on tape.
We have to identify exactly who they are. Something happened today where Secretary Kerry made a statement which I think was very evident of the problem that we're seeing, where in a speech she talked about how these Islamic extremists, that they are engaged in, and I quote, criminal conduct rooted in alienation, poverty, thrill-seeking, and other factors. And he went on to say that ultimately this fight will be determined by our success in creating prosperity that's widely shared. This is completely missing the point of exactly this radical Islamic ideology that's fueling these people, and mistakenly, a huge mistake, thinking that somehow, okay, well look, if we give them $10,000 and give them a nice place to live, that somehow they're not going to be engaged in this.
So that actually wasn't the right tape, because she didn't say so. I'll tell you what she said. She basically said that if the White House can't acknowledge the problem, Islamic terrorism, that they can't defeat the problem. Now, I actually agree with her that the White House is being way too sensitive about the term. I really do. I mean, if somebody commits an act of terror in the name of Islam, they're an Islamic terrorist. Doesn't mean that everybody who is Muslim or who believes in Islam is a terrorist. It means nothing of the kind. But the sensitivity, to me, it goes along with so much. As you know, I tend to agree with most policy in this White House. But their communications has been one of the worst that I have ever seen in my life, and this is another example. And by the way, it doesn't mean that we won't be successful in defeating terrorism. One has nothing to do with the other, so she was wrong in my opinion about that.
Absolutely. I mean, the work we're actually doing on counterterrorism has nothing to do with how we term it. Here are my 2 problems with this. I think this is a smart move on the part of the White House. First of all, Islamic terrorism, A lot of American Muslims have a problem with that because this is not actually Islam. This is not in the name of Islam. True peaceful Muslims.
But it is.
But what if it were reversed and they were calling it the Christian terror?
Be the same thing if they were doing it in the name of that.
Christians would be, but they're not practicing real Islam.
I get that. I totally.
Where are these Christian terrorists?
No.
Make sure I don't go on spring break
that's
there.
an example.
Okay.
Is if it were
Actually,
reversed.
It's a hypothetical.
There has been plenty
and there
of
was
them.
the JDL. There have been Jewish terrorists.
However, that's not my point. My point is that we have to be sensitive to other religions. They're Americans too, and they're having to hear about Islamic terror when they do not see this as Islamic.
I don't see it as insensitive, but I'll tell you what I do see it as. Another example of here we are talking about it, and it shouldn't be an issue.
All we're doing every time we say Islamic terrorist, which is every 5 seconds in America, we are reiterating and commercializing the branding that ISIS in particular is very proud of. I mean, look, these people are doing things like creating these high-profile, high-quality film trailers. They have sophisticated propaganda on social media. They're reaching out to young, disenfranchised people online. This is fantastic for them. Every time we say Islamic terror,
which you've said 8 times during this, by the way.
Exactly.
So you're not helping matters.
I know. I'm really screwing it up.
Look,
but my point is why keep branding them? We need to talk about this as terrorism and not give them the satisfaction of calling it Islamic.
And we'll have to end it on that note. I just say if they had Tinder in Syria and other parts of that world, then they probably wouldn't be disenfranchised and have better stuff to do than join ISIS.
Yeah, and can I just quickly throw in?
If
you call somebody who's doing terrorism in the name of Islam, it doesn't. You're not saying that they have the religion correct, and you're certainly not impugning hundreds of millions. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You're not impugning hundreds of millions of Islamic believers who are absolutely wonderful people.
And on that note, we'll make the easy transition to this headline. Birth certificate asks if a woman who is giving birth is female. Is there a choice in this matter? Can I get pregnant? I'm sure my wife would prefer that. That's for sure. The New York City Health Department has a new form for parents requesting birth certificates that asks woman giving birth if she's male or female. Gender? Really, Rick? Quickly, this won't take that much time.
I have absolutely nothing to say about this. It's what do you
goodness,
say?
Guys, this is, we want to giggle about it, but this is a very serious rights issue for people who are LGBT.
How so?
Because if they won't have their name on the birth certificate if they have a baby.
But only women, as far as I know, can give birth. That's what it's asking.
It's about the transgender community and the LGBT community.
Only women can give birth in the human
biology.
Right,
but if someone is in transition going from being a woman to a man, but is having a baby, or if a lesbian couple is having a baby. This is about legal rights, though. This is about...
we got to move on from this, unfortunately.
I support that community 150%.
We should be respecting
right. I gained enough weight during the holidays where I looked like I was in my second trimester. We got to go. I hate to end this conversation. So fascinating. Coming up next, we're going to go have some fun talking about a little football game that the NFL will not allow us to name. It's all right here on the Daily Wrap, and it's only on Newsmax TV.
Just before retirement, I had that uh-oh moment. It is not a great feeling. I worked hard, I saved money, but then I realized I wasn't going to have enough.
If you're age 62 or older and facing a financial gap, your home's equity could provide greater financial independence. With recent changes to reverse mortgages, it's more important than ever to make a decision based on current facts rather than outdated information. If you think you know everything there is to know about reverse mortgages, the truth is you probably don't.
And I have to admit, I was skeptical at first based on what I thought I knew, but then I realized how misinformed I really was.
Many people are surprised to learn that today's reverse mortgages have been redesigned and can provide greater help to consumers. As a result, they can be an effective option to help fund the retirement you want. Call Reverse Mortgage Funding today for a free copy of Closing the Gap. It has the most current information about new products, including those designed to help you extend your retirement funds or to purchase a new home.
My reverse mortgage gave me the benefits of a home equity line of credit without the monthly loan payments, and they've made the process really easy.
Retirement and retirees have changed, and so have reverse mortgages. You owe it to yourself to see how today's reverse mortgages are meeting the needs of a new retirement generation. To find out how, call Reverse Mortgage Funding now and get the facts.
We based our decision on current information, not hearsay, which was really a smart move for us. It changed our entire retirement outlook.
Call toll-free 1-877-272-3738 for your free copy of Closing the Gap. There's no obligation, so call 1-877-272-3738 today. That's 1-877-272-3738. Loan terms and conditions apply. Visit reverseminded.com for details.
Did you or a loved one work on an oil and gas drilling rig between the years 1963 and 1985? Do you or a family member have lung cancer or mesothelioma, or did your loved one die from lung cancer or mesothelioma? If so, you and your family may be entitled to compensation. For free information, call the law offices of James C. Farrell 24 hours a day at 1-800-616-0844. Call now, 1-800-616-0844.
People ask me all the time, George, what do I do with my idea for a new product? I tell them, call my friends at InventHelp. Put InventHelp in your corner.
For free inventors information, call 1-800-560-0585.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. The show that helps you make money if gambling were legal in 49 states, of course. This Sunday will feature the biggest game of the season that features a ball made out of pigskin. Is it still made of pigskin? That's a very good question. It is? Okay, Rick Unger says yes. Half the people that watch the Super Bowl tune in for a couple of reasons. The ads and the halftime show, and my wife being one of those people. Even though she does have a fancy football team, so I shouldn't diminish her football knowledge altogether. Anyway, not going off on a tangent, they are more interested in the spectacle of the game than the actual game itself. The others tune in to watch and perhaps wager on the game. And last year alone, Vegas took in over $100 million in bets on the game. Well, I decided to feature some of those bets that I would like to see, and just take my advice. I'll be asking my esteemed panel as well, but trust me on this. We can play back the tape. I will at least hit 75% or above. That is a promise. So this is how this works, guys, okay? I'll give you some of the ones that I selected as far as wagers that are available. In Vegas, you could go up to a window and actually bet these things. All right, so the first one involves, and if we could put the graphic up on the screen, ladies and gentlemen in the control room, how many times will deflated balls be referred to during the game? The over-under, and over-under means you either think it will occur more than 2.5 times or under 2.5 times by the broadcast team of Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth on NBC. Rick, what are you betting?
Taking the over.
So you go over 2.5 on balls?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Saying way over on balls.
You chuckled on deflated balls, by the way.
Who doesn't?
That's why
I don't know. You know, we could trip up because they might say Deflategate more than deflated balls. I don't know.
It is in quotes, so that's how the MGM Grand, for instance, will count.
Okay.
So you're going to go
way over.
Way over.
Yeah.
I have the
Is
over
there
as
a
well.
way over?
No, there's no. You just either go one or the other. Okay, so consensus, we say over. Number 2, what will Katy Perry, she's doing the halftime show, be wearing when she begins said halftime show? Will she be wearing a skirt and a dress? That's the odds-on favorite. Pants below the knees or shorts above the knees? I start with you, Jenny.
Well, what are pants below the knees? What is that?
It's a Hillary pantsuit, I imagine.
You know, I vote wardrobe malfunction.
Wow.
At the outset, right from the start?
But I would say it's over, that it's going to be a short something.
Okay, so you're going to pick then short skirt above the knee.
Anything.
Okay.
Maybe nothing.
That's wow.
Yeah,
the FCC won't have any problem with that.
She's a bold lady.
She's married to Russell Brand at one point, right?
At one point.
I believe so. What do you got?
Well, because the bet doesn't pay off if she comes out in a skirt or a dress, it's 4 to 5 odds.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go with shorts.
You're going with
shorts.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to go with the
And
other
I've
pants.
made quite a story on. I've made quite a study of this.
You have, huh? Okay, very good.
You keep
Let's
track
go
of
to
what
our
Katy Perry's wearing.
Next wager, if we can. How many times will Gisele Bündchen be shown on TV? Gisele, of course, is the wife of Tom Brady, as you see in that picture. The over-under is 1.5. I'm going to first give my selection on this. And if you have a college fund, a 529, some sort of 401k, I suggest that you cash it out. I don't care what kind of tax hit you take. The over is absolutely going to happen. Giselle gets shown. She's one of the most beautiful women in the world. Tom Brady is obviously a center of controversy. She loves to chug wine, as we saw during the last Super Bowl the Patriots are in. Over, Rick Unger.
Joe's lock of the week.
Yeah, lock of the year.
Okay, let me ask you a question first. Since you've seen Teresa, how many times was she shown in the last Super Bowl?
I didn't look it up, but it was more than 1.5 times.
Okay, then I'll take the over. I was going to take the under. But if there's a history here of them showing her more than 1.5 times, I'll go with that.
We'll check it out during the commercial break and come back with an answer.
I'll
Jenny.
take the over too, because she also likes to say things about her husband, like he can't do it all by himself.
He can't throw and catch the ball.
She likes to say that,
I don't think they'll have her
controversial
mic'd.
things.
There you go. We got to move on. We're going to move this quickly, okay? Which number will be higher? Russell Wilson, he's the quarterback of the Seahawks, passing yards, or the U.S. national average gas price on Monday? It's around $2, so he'd have to throw for over 200 yards, roughly. Rick, what do you got?
This is the toughest of them all, and I think I'm going to go with national gas price.
Okay, very good. I agree with that.
Good defense on that.
They run the ball a lot. They run the ball a lot. Jenny,
I trust you, Rick. I'll go with what you say on this
Always
one
a
thing. It's
We're
the
agreeing
only
on
thing.
everything. This is amazing.
The
Bet
only
number
thing
5. Put it
ever.
up. Who will be shown more on TV during the game? Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, or Paul Allen, the owner of the Seahawks? I got Kraft in a walk.
Easy.
Kraft for sure.
Because he's the center of controversy.
Yeah, and this is also the lock of the week because nobody knows what Paul Allen looks like out there. They all know what Robert Kraft looks like.
That's a very good point.
Lock of the week. That's my
good.
one.
Never trust a guy who has 2 names, by the way. Paul Allen.
There you go.
Okay, so again, we're agreeing on everything. Which color will Bill Belichick's hoodie be? Gray is the odds-on favorite. Blue and red are also in there as well. I think I got to go gray. He's a simple man with simple taste.
Trick question. He will not be wearing a hoodie this Sunday.
Interesting. And if he doesn't,
Why
you would
not?
win if you bet other, which is something like 20
because I don't believe he'll wear a hoodie to the Super Bowl.
Wow. Jenny, quickly.
I'll say red. I think he's going to want to make a statement.
Okay, and I'll end it on this note. We can't get through all the props, unfortunately, but here's what I would do if I'm Bill Belichick. I would wear red, and then I'd fly some fluky out to Vegas and bet on red. I get 7-1 back.
Yeah.
Just saying, you
Brilliant.
could control the outcome.
Why not?
Anyway, that was fun. More on the Super Bowl coming up in just a moment. We're going to take a look at all the wonderful commercials that they'll be paying millions of dollars to get 30 seconds for. This is Newsmax TV.
The psoriasis on my feet was so bad that it felt as if I were walking on broken glass.
If you suffer from psoriasis, you know it can feel like a curse.
I was hiding in the house all the time. I didn't want to be out with the public at all, didn't want people seeing me.
If you're tired of the pain and embarrassment of your psoriasis and would like to take control of it, then you want Extract by Photomedics, the global leader in targeted therapy for psoriasis. Extract can clear your psoriasis in weeks with no harmful side effects. Extract treats all psoriasis areas. The in-office treatment takes no time at all.
After the treatment, often I hear, I couldn't even feel anything. Are you done?
You do not feel a thing.
She'd go zzz, 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 and then it would be done.
Extract is cleared by the FDA and recommended by over 2,000 dermatologists.
I was seeing results within like 2 or 3 treatments.
Extract is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare.
One of the worst areas was my right elbow, and after about 2 months, you can see it's totally clear.
Act now and you can qualify to be reimbursed for any co-pays until you see results.
It feels great. It's like, oh my gosh, now I know how everyone else feels that has a healthy scalp.
So call now for your no-cost treatment at an Extract clinic conveniently located near you. We can see you right away.
For all the folks who have given up hope on their psoriasis and felt like there is no solution, I would love for them to come in and give our Extract treatment a try and see what a difference it can make in their lives.
Stop suffering from psoriasis. Live clear, live free with Extract.
Call 1-800-741-0957 for your no-cost Extract treatment at a location near you, or go to useextract.com right now. So call 1-800-741-0957.
If you are over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity, I have some urgent news for you. Do not buy an annuity until you compare all of the rates and products available.
A free annuity rate report has been released that reveals the annuities with the highest guaranteed rates and lowest fees. Grab a pen right now to receive this free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 different annuities and have summarized the safest annuities with the highest guaranteed rates in our free report. To receive your free, no obligation annuity rate report, call the number on your screen right now and request your copy today. Call now, because when it comes to buying an annuity, shopping rates and products can save you thousands. Call now.
And welcome back to the final segment of the Daily Wrap. Boy, time really does fly in this show. Analysts predict this year's Super Bowl will be the most watched and therefore the most profitable. About 113 million people, or I don't know how they came up with that exact number, are expected to tune in. And the cost of a 30-second ad is about $4.5 million. That's a record. So even if you had the $4.5 million, NBC sold out all of its spots. So let's see some of the current, I should say, and past advertisers spent their money. How'd they do it? Well, earlier this week we showed you the GoDaddy ad the company pulled because of objections from PETA over the use of a puppy. Well, Budweiser, always a big presence at the Super Bowl, also used a pup this year, and PETA seems to have no objections.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And I will walk 500 more just to be in the middle of 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
As somebody who's a member of the ASPCA, that was tremendous. Yeah. I already gave my opinion. Rick, obviously, you're tearing up as well.
That was adorable. Unlike the one we saw earlier from those idiots who just did a disgusting commercial.
Yeah, you weren't very happy with that one, Reverend.
Yeah, I mean, people like to feel good. It's the Super Bowl. We want to be inspired and think about fabulous things, and animals doing fabulous things always works.
I read a marketing study one time where they put animals in commercials so much because they're more likable than humans by a 10-to-1 margin.
By far.
And
so
they work cheap.
And
That's
if you have
the whole thing.
And if you have a baby and a puppy or an animal, oh,
then you're all set. You don't need the baby. You can just go right to the puppy. Let's go to commercial number 2.
Yo.
What's that?
What's that?
Hold on. Hello?
What's up? You want to feel old? That commercial came out 16 years ago.
It was great.
You have to stick your tongue out with it, though.
What's up?
I mean, that's a pop culture icon right there. How many times have you said that to your friends since then?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. It's over.
Yeah, I guess
it's over.
It's so 20th century, right?
It's over now. But it was great.
But at the time, it was a big deal.
It was
Everybody,
awesome.
you know.
What else is over? Our analysis of that
That's
particular
it? That's all we
spot.
get?
Spot number 3, ladies and gentlemen in control room. Maybe better than puppies or monkeys.
Yeah, I must have had a lot of beer that year watching the Super Bowl
That
because
year?
I don't remember that commercial.
Oh, I do.
But it's adorable.
Did Jenny just admit on the air that she got overserved, blacked out, and therefore doesn't remember the E-Trade commercial?
Isn't
Because that's hot.
Isn't that what that game we're not allowed to call it by its name is for?
It's called the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Super Bowl.
The game that cannot be named.
That cannot be named.
But that's adorable. Dancing monkeys.
You can't beat that.
It
And
reminds
E-Trade
me of
was
my-
huge at the time because
can't
that
beat
was
it.
during the bubble.
It
right,
was
right
you
before it
Can't
broke.
beat it though. There is
Yeah,
one that I hope we're going to see that is the best Super Bowl out of all
Maybe
time.
we will see it. What do you
we're
think, guys,
gonna
in the
see
control
it.
room? That was tremendous.
Absolutely brilliant.
The best Super Bowl ad of all time.
That's your number one.
Number one, and I love it so much. I can tell you who did it. It was Deutsch LA, Donnie Deutsch. Best Super Bowl ad of all time.
Jenny?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody can relate to that ad, whether you're male or female. Everybody's had that imagination, you know, fantasies as a child of doing that. So, I mean, it really appeals to everybody.
And it was so modern at the time because you could start your car with your
still love
keychain.
watching it. Yeah, I
right?
still
It was
love watching that ad.
mind-blowing technology.
Particularly to Rick because he has an 8-track in his car. So that's all good.
And the little boy's adorable.
Yeah,
Yes.
agreed. And I wish we had more time, guys, but
We out?
happy hour starts in about
We're out.
20 seconds according to my ears. So again,
right.
Reverend Jenny, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
I have a
having
feeling we'll see you next week
I'll
back on
be
the Daily
here.
Rep. And Ricky, always a pleasure.
I'll be here.
All right,
Have
excellent.
great weekends, everybody.
All right, gentlemen, happy weekend. And finally, we will end with the new NBC promo for NASCAR. No, we're not. We're just going to go right to happy hour. Bye-bye, everybody. See you Monday.